you guys? Marty Schwartz here, GuitarJams.com. Happy New Year. Happy to be back giving another lesson. Anyway, I'm going to give a kind of a blues vamp lesson. You know, Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Clapton, B.B. King. The list goes on and on. But it's kind of a nice little blues vamp. And I'll show you some of my favorite little fills and some things that you can do. Like if you're playing, you know, some blues guitar by yourself, this is kind of a cool way to mix and match some licks with some rhythm. All right, I turned my gain off just so we can get a cleaner tone when I actually teach this stuff. But let me show you some of the elements that are going on. You know, it's a blues in the key of E. So, you know, when you first learn a 12-bar blues, you're kind of like doing an E power chord, and you've got this... you know, in the most basic form. Maybe you start adding your middle finger right here, like. And that's really cool too. Also, I like the E7 chord, or an E major chord with the ring finger off is E7 as well. When you're playing with gain though, it is kind of fun play the full E major chord and let this, that's the major third of the chord, let that be muted. So I'm not hearing that note with more gain. Sounds a little cleaner actually with the distortion, not as muddy sounding if you take that major third out. So that's another thing to think about. But what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do this repeating idea, which is like this. So that's the idea. If we can keep that going, we're going to fill up the rest with little licks and tricks. And then when you go to the chord change of the blues, you can do the land of A7 in any combination, which is the biggest lesson I have on YouTube, but it's with Next Level Guitar. Little shapes in A, and then that gives you a whole new creative piece right back to that. And then there's obviously licks. The licks I'm playing in between I'm improvising it, you know, with ideas I know already, but I'm improvising it, and I'm using that E open blues scale, which is 0-3, 0-1-2, 0-2, 0-2-3, 0-3-0-3, and then an extension of it. I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite things. First is this. That's that actual idea. So from the 3rd fret on the low E, I'm bending it a little bit, like a quarter tone. Right before it kind of sounds super out of tune, I'm skipping a string and I'm going to the 2nd fret on the D there. So watch, it's the E power chord. Twice. Nudgy nudge. And then I'm doing 2 times on the root right there, the 2nd fret of the D. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. Okay, now Now let's fill up some of that space. Open D. Second fret on the A. First fret. Open. Hammer on pull off on the first. Right after you hammer on pull off, we're going to go to the third fret of the low E there. Right back to that root again. And these are licks for soloing as well, so. A lot of variations. You can find your own ideas in there. So let's try this one. Open, second, now just the hammer on pull off on the first. Third on the low E, right back, so watch. Right into the power chord again. And if you can hear the boom, 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 dum, dum in your head, then you can actually skip a whole bar of it, you know, like a whole 4 beat of it as you do a lick, as long as you can hear it in your head and you're soloing over it in your head and you come back to it. It'll feel good to come back to it. So, you know, the second fret on the G string, bent up, is a really nice addition to that. And then here's what I like a lot. Sliding that second fret of the G, and then adding the index to the third of the B, back. You know, like you just come up with whatever you can if you can hear 3, 4, 3, 4. And so that little extension off of this E blues is a slide up with your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret on the B with your index, 5, ring, 3, 5. So you see, you can go really far out and then come back right into that again. One other real nice kind of like SRV kind of thing is the open high E, skip the B string, and a little pick on the 2nd fret of the G, slid up and back. That's the blues note right there. So see that? And another thing you can do is just practice that blues scale right here in this open position. And if you just practice that scale up and down, you can come up with your own licks in between the. So forth and so on. But anyway, I just had a couple ideas there that I thought I'd reiterate, and they're all based off of filling around the